Hi everyone, and welcome back to Ask Alexa Therapy Facebook Live. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. So excited, getting so many amazing questions each week for Ask Alexa Therapy Facebook Live, but also for Ask Alexa on the Alexa Show, special editions once a month, where again here I'll be answering questions from you, the viewers. If you have any questions or any topics you'd like me to discuss, please send an email to info@askalexatherapy.com and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ask Alexa Therapy. Well, let's go to our first question. Dear Ask Alexa, my fiance and I have been planning our wedding. For years, I've been dreaming about this. However, my future mother-in-law has been very negative. She criticizes everything I want to do. How do I have my wedding of my dreams and also keep the peace with my future mother-in-law? Great question, and also a very tough question. I think so many times this is a very common thing that happens that isn't really spoken about. But it's definitely tough when you're planning the wedding of your dreams and your future mother-in-law or other family members are not agreeing with what you want or not seeing the same vision. So I would ask you to maybe sit down with your future mother-in-law and your fiance and also discuss what's been bothering her, what are some of her ideas, and see why she has any type of criticism. And I really want to find out what her motives are, but also what is her reasonings. Because sometimes people with different generations and different cultures have different ideas and traditions they like to be seen in their weddings, and they've also had dreams of their life to see their child married a certain way. So I think it's really important that you sit down with your future mother-in-law and really have this discussion, but also to really tell her how passionate you are about how you want your wedding to look like. And very common, the wife, the mom, and the mother of the bride are the ones that are paying for the wedding. So I'd really, ask her, what does she would like to do differently? And maybe give her one part of the wedding of something that she could add. Maybe she could pick one of the appetizers. Maybe she could play certain songs or have a certain dance that she would like, or maybe even certain flowers. But I would try to involve her in your planning, but not letting her take over the planning. And I think also to make sure you're not letting her negativity ruin your excitement for your big day. Because this day is your big day for you and your fiance. And we really want you to be able to enjoy it and not feel self-conscious, not feel like there's tension. So I think it's important to really have a sit down, but I would do it with other family members and your fiance there at the table. Sometimes it's tough. It would be just you and your future mother-in-law discussing this. I'd rather have other people around so they could also act as buffers, but also have different ideas where you can bounce off of all of them. And I think it's also important to have your mother around too to speak with your future mother-in-law, to also give you the support so you don't feel like you're alone with this. And I think before this happens, I would really sit down with your fiance and speak to him about how you're feeling and see how he deals with it. Is this the first time he's seen his mother behave like this? Is she controlling? Does she usually criticize? Have you noticed this before in your relationship with her? Because I think this might be an ongoing thread or theme that might need to be addressed right away. And I know planning your wedding and during your wedding is not the important time where you'd really want to be addressing this. But I think it's important that you set your boundaries. You hear and acknowledge her feelings and her concerns, but I think you keep strict boundaries with her and see if there's any type of compromise without you feeling like you're giving up anything how you want your wedding to look. But I think it's important to try and build sort of alliance with your future mother-in-law and be able to see if you can have that open dialogue and communication. So after you speak to your fiance, I would set up a time to speak with your future mother-in-law and have your mother and maybe some of the bridesmaids and other family members that are close to you to be involved in this meeting and to really discuss it and explore it and try to have it in a non-judgmental, non-aggravating setting so everyone can get their point across. But we also want to make sure that you don't feel like you're being forced to make decisions and not see your dream. Because I think it's so important, as little girls, as anyone, as we grow up, we have ideas of what we want our wedding to look like, our dresses, our flowers, everything. So it's important that you do see your dream wedding come true. but also that you can involve your future mother-in-law and have her feel like that she's a part of it if she's willing to compromise. So again, thank you so much for writing in your questions. Please keep sending them in. Hi, Mary Kay. Hi, Regina. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been so incredible each week answering your questions. And please look out for the new Ask Alexa episode that will be coming out within the next week or two. I'm really addressing some great questions about body image, the aging process, and reflecting back on your life and on your goals. So again, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep sending in your questions. They're really incredible. And I'll see you next Sunday at 6 p.m. Everybody, have a good night and God bless.